Hi everyone, it's Mia from Rose Nails by Maria Slade, and today I wanted to do a slightly different video. I don't often do my own nails on camera, mostly because it's bloody awkward from the camera angle, but I have natural nails with a hard gel overlay, and my natural nails are really difficult. They are one of the most difficult sets of nails I've ever done personally. And I know that when other techs have worked on my nails, they have found them really, really difficult as well. I know they don't look too bad from first sight, but all of my nails are crooked on my fingers. So when you look down the barrel of the nail, they're all wonky, which I will show you in a minute, and you can sort of see it on my thumb at various angles. So anyway, so I wanted to sort of do this as a slightly different video just to show you how to work with nails that aren't so easy and aren't so straight and perfect, and all the ones that we see on YouTube and Instagram and whatever all the time. So I'm just going in with my SBD London rubber base coat. I float the product up towards the cuticle and kind of push the product up as close as I can before I hold back my ginormous side walls to come down the sides of the nail towards the free edge. That is also another issue with my nails. I have the biggest, beefiest side walls ever, and they have so much dust and cuticle and all sorts down them, so they are just a pain in the bum to do. I remember when I went to do some training with Kirsty Meakin, and she did a demo nail on one of my nails, and when she looked down the barrel of my nail, she was like, damn, these are the wonkiest nails I've ever seen. And I'm like, yeah, I know, look, here we go. Right, so wonky nails. My thumb is one of the worst. Look, the nail bed is entirely crooked to the rest of the finger. So they are really tricky to do. They are really tricky to get the apex right on them and filed correctly so that they don't look immediately off center to, at first glance. I realise I've gone off camera. There we go. I come back into shot. So yeah, I just wanted to show something that wasn't entirely perfect. So once I have done my rubber base coat, which by the way, the SBD London rubber base coat is the best base coat I've ever used in my life. It's like double-sided sticky tape and everything sticks. Then I'm going to use my hard gel, and again, I'm going to pop it on the nail and then push towards the cuticle, push that product up as close as I can to the cuticle without touching the skin, and then start bringing it down the nail, down the sort of the side of the nail, and then down the main barrel of the nail. I do a nice thin slip layer to start off with because gel wants to stick to gel and wet gel wants to stick to wet gel. So if you can put a thin slip layer of gel down before you go in with a bigger bead to do your apex layer. So this is my bigger bead, and I'm going in at quite a flat angle like this and rolling the product off like that. Like that. I like a relatively good sort of size apex because I do have obsessive compulsive disorder. I wash my nails. I wash my hands about 3,000 times a day. I'm not even kidding. I wash them like upwards of 50 times a day easily. So my nails have to last, and my nails do not break. I've never had a broken nail. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but in the sort of 5 years of becoming a nail tech, I've never ever had a broken nail. So I'm hoping I'm doing something right. So once I've sort of horseshoed that apex layer down, I'm then going to really gently tickle the rest of the product down towards the free edge so it's not too thick. And then I just noticed it was a little bit thin here, and that's sort of on the stress line where the free edge meets the nail bed, and that's like a prime spot for, if it is going to break, that's where it's going to break. So I like to make sure there's enough product there. And then don't ever touch the product, by the way, this is just because it was my hands and I was being naughty. And then whenever I'm working with hard gel, I turn my finger upside down before putting it in the lamp. So then I'm just going to show you that again. This has also, by the way, only had a flash cure on my index finger. I do like to flash cure it in between so that while I'm working on one finger, the gel isn't sliding around all over the place and running into the side walls on my other finger. So again, I'm going to go in with my slip layer, nice and thin, push it up towards the cuticle and then down those side walls. Honestly, my big beefy side walls, they're all wonky, they're all ginormous, nothing on my nails is straight or symmetrical or parallel to the rest of the finger, nothing. So they're really, really difficult to do. I've got like the worst wonky nails. I'm pretty sure it's from when I was horse riding as a kid and the way I would hold my reins, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, right, apex bead on, and then I'm going to horseshoe this. So sort of going from side to side in a horseshoe shape down the nail. This is a really tricky one because my middle fingers are one of the worst ones for being wonky. And then I'm literally just using the tiniest tip of my brush to have contact with the nail. If you start pushing your brush into this and dragging it down, then it's not going to self-level and it's going to have big dips in it. So really, really tickling this gel, trying to manipulate it where you want it to go. And then again, upside down for 10 seconds and then pop it into the lamp the right way up, obviously. And that's a 60-second cure. So I have also gone ahead and done the rest of my nails off camera. And I'm just going to give them a little bit of a cleanse. And as I cleanse, they've just come out the lamp, so they're still warm. So I'm pinching my nails with the cleanser as it cools down and as they come out of the lamp, just to give them a little bit of a pinch. Sometimes I use a pinching tool, sometimes I don't. It's really personal preference to whether I can be bothered when I'm doing my own nails. So I'm going to use my SBD London 180 grit file and my SBD London 100 grit buffer. This is what they look like when you order them from SBD London. I do not use the whole of the buffer, so I don't want to waste it, so I end up cutting them into 3 so that they'll do for 3 clients. Hence why my buffer looks really tiny. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the free edge first, making sure that my file is nice and straight. Again, it's very, very difficult to do these nails. They are entirely wonky, so I try and do them as flat as possible. I mean, look, this is what we're working with. It's completely wonky. The whole nail bed is wonky. So what I'm trying to do is turn my finger so it's flat. There you go, look. That's where it's meant to be. That's where it is naturally. That's where I'm going to try and pretend it is. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to do my sides, getting the barrel of the nail sort of nice and straight down those side walls so you can see the contact area that I'm touching with the file is minimal. I'm just doing the sides and straightening those out at the moment. So I normally like to do free edge, sides, side walls, cuticle, and then kind of like down the bulk of the nail. So now I'm just going to go in and do my cuticle. Make sure when you've got a brand new file on a client, I know that when I first started doing nails, I was terrified of going around the cuticles because I did not want to cut my client. It's like the worst thing that you would ever want to do is cut your client. So make sure you get rid of the edges of your new file. I'm just showing that like this is the contact area that I'm doing on my little wonky nail. I'm just doing the cuticle area. Make sure you get rid of the sharp edges of a brand new file with another file. So I've got my file that I call it, and I use that. It's just a brand new clean file that I use for scoring the edges of my files before I use them so that they are blunt on the edges and I've got no risk of cutting a client. So I'm just going down the barrel of the nail and I'm kind of going to go down at that angle. I am literally rubbish at maths. Is that a 45-degree angle? I think. I don't know. I'm no good at maths. And I'm going to rotate my finger and my file, mostly my file, but I do end up finding that when I'm doing it on my own nails, my finger kind of goes with it. So as I'm filing, I'm going to rotate it like a rainbow and rock it side to side. So like this. Let's see if I can show you a bit better. Hang on. Right, side to side. So that is the movement of my file as I'm filing, but obviously I'm doing it a lot faster in real life. and then it'll get that nice sort of slim look down the nail. So I've got a nice apex on there, a nice bit of strength, but without making the nail too bulky. I do, as I say, like to make them a little bit more bulky than normal, because of the amount my nails have to go through. As an OCD sufferer, they get a battering, they are in bleach constantly, they get washed constantly. So I'm just showing the 100 side of the file, which is a lot rougher, you can sort of tell, and the 180 side is a lot smoother. So I go in with my 100 side of the buffer first, really get in there, into the cuticle area, make it all nice and smooth, ready for the application of my gel polish. And you can see this is like, I think I'll show you in a second, I sponge it, I'll show you how spongy it is. So you can really get down into my big beefy side walls. See, spongy, but it's like a stiff sponge. It's really good quality. And then I can get down into those side walls so that there's no rough, bumpy, lumpy bits. And then that one's all done, except for a little bit that I noticed on the side, whizzy. And that's how I apply my hard gel and prep it for gel polish, which I'm just going to do on the others. And then that's all ready for gel polish application. I'm just using a hard nail brush because I know that some people use like the softer brushes to wipe away the dust, but with my beefy side walls, I need a stronger one with some cleanser, and then they are all ready for gel polish application. Thank you ever so much for watching, and look at the design in the next video.